Hey, what's up? It's Greg from Fisherman's Headquarters, and today is Tuesday, November 29th. I'm up here on the north end, Bayside, in Barnegat Light. In the afternoon time frame, I guess it's about 3 or 4 o'clock, after a midday charter. Had Mike Romance and his wife aboard today. Had a good fun fishing trip. It was a late morning trip. Ended up heading up the beach. Had a lot of dirty water until we got up to, say, more or less around the Bathers Beach kind of pier area. That's kind of where I started fishing up in that region and worked even some of the waters north of there. Had some really good fishing. First stop, had fish on top waters, maybe 10, 15 feet from the boat, little short casts. Fish are rolling on top. I mentioned in a previous report, the Yozuri Mag Dive was one of my go-to lures this season, and that's what we had some fish on right away. Also the dock, topwater spook. As the day progressed, we also fished on some bait pods, fished some spoons, and got some striped bass that were hiding a little down deep, say mid-water column and further down, on the jigging spoons. Those are big 7 to 9 inch spoons. We got them jigging that way. Had some friends that were out doing some good striped bass fishing on other lures as well. Heard some Yozuri twitch baits, the Mag Minnow, Mag Darter from Yozuri. Yozuri makes an awesome spread of lures that catch fish really all season long for me. So if you're not familiar with them, check them out. Other lures would be the rubber shad from Tsunami, definitely good fishy lure, and also some bucktails too. With all that said, I was at the dock when I was cleaning up a fish, and one of the say other boats that was fishing in the area kind of was like, "Hey man, what were you catching on?" I couldn't get a fish. And it kind of rang home with me that there's some times where you have the right location figured out, but are still struggling. You don't have the other part of the equation is what the fish are actually eating. So what I want to do is kind of suggest that you really want to match the hatch and also figure out where the fish are in the water column. If you can match the hatch, you know what's going on, you know what bait's around, then match the hatch can be easy. But if you don't know what's there, then it can be a little more challenging. One more reason to pay attention to some reports, really not to chase exact locations, but to pay attention to what fish are eating, what baits are around, what's kind of happening during this time of the migration. So right now we've got adult bunker. There's also some lollipop sized bunkers, say 6, 7 inch baits. There's also some peanuts. Those three kind of sizes of bunkers are important because if you're on a bigger bunker pod, like I was at one point today, I was catching fish on the bigger spoons. Matching the hatch, and it worked very, very well. There's boats right next to me that didn't catch a thing. Yes, you could also live bait fish on that live bunker kind of school, but my experiences recently have been a lot of dogfish, so that's why I opted to go to the bigger spoons, and it worked out very effectively. Another thing I could share is I was on a smaller pot of bait. There were some peanuts, say 3, 4, 5 inch baits, the small little metal lips, little Mag Darters, little top water, say 4 inch poppers. That's where you want to be. For me, it was the smaller size Mag Dive that stood out in that time frame. So those are kind of two examples of today how I matched the hatch to catch a lot of fish, both top water and also jig. And I know there's some other boats that were catching fish too, but I know there's some boats that were struggling to catch fish. Like I mentioned, that one angler that was walked up to me on the dock there was super frustrated and was kind of sharing his experiences and was kind of like somewhat questioning what he was doing wrong. So I wanted to kind of bring that information to you guys, let you know. Not only is it matching the hatch, but also it's looking where those fish are in the water column. So if you have a fish up on top water and you're going to try to fish a shad, well, a rubber shad's not really going to effectively fish ripping it across the surface. A topwater spook, though, you can fish it very, very slow on the surface, or a metal lip, you can fish it very, very slow on the surface and keep it in the zone and keep it sassy and swimming properly and presenting it right. And those fish see it, and the fish will bite. The same thing goes, if the fish are marking down deep, sometimes it's very hard to raise them, whether you're fishing a pencil pop or a spook, a metal lip. They will come up sometimes, but other times they want it, say, more mid-water column or down deep. And that's situations where those spoons, you can jig them, cover a lot of ground. We'll say a flutter spoon, the old school classic croc spoons, also fishing some bigger rubber shads, whether it's a 4, 5, 6, even 9 inch rubbers. So with all that said, there's also fish being taken on the troll. Talked to a number of friends that were out today that did a number on them fishing mojos and umbrella rigs. Sometimes fishing lures isn't your thing. maybe you're more into trolling and relaxing and kicking back and just covering some ground when the fish are spread out. Very, very effective way to catch fish. I mentioned in an earlier report, it did a really, really good job on them a day or so ago. Like I said, today there was another really good troll bite for the anglers that were, say, getting away from the packs of fish and packs of bait and just going out and trying to troll that that productive water, the old clam beds that are off of Island Beach State Park and Seaside and say the areas in that nook and crannies, say 40, 50, 60 foot of water, even up to 70 foot of water, depending where you're at. One of those was Captain Cody Melton. They're from the Jersey Nuts, the Melton Boys, and also Heavy Metals. They were out there fishing today and smoked them on the troll. Like I mentioned, I had a great topwater action. I fished late morning, heard some great reports from early in the morning. Right now, striped bass fishing here in the, say, northern Ocean County waters is about as good as it gets. It's been very, very good for a couple weeks. Hopefully you're following the reports and kind of following things along. Hopefully you're getting out and getting some of the action yourself and having a good time and catching some fish and you know, having a ball with the great fall fishing that we have. Today was an awesome day, as you see behind me. Next to no wind right now. It was blowing this morning, but it dropped out late morning into midday. Ocean's near flat as a lake. There was, say, maybe 1 to 2 foot chop this morning, but that laid out very, very nicely. The wind dropped out around noon, and right now here at the later part of the day, it's you know, darn near still. The fishing was very good. Hopefully you're going to take advantage for, you know, every little bit that we have left of the season. We are in the final days of November, but with that being said, December can also be very, very good. 2021, 2022, 2019, I had great fishing early December. So if this year is like the last few years, I'm looking forward to some great fishing in the first, say, week or so of December. Looking at the long range forecast, looks like we have a little bit of a cold couple days coming, but we're gonna have a little more of an average temperature and a couple warmer days, hopefully in the foreseeable future here. Looks like the weekend and the long range day next week are actually looking somewhat mild and around average. So hopefully that will keep the fishing going more and more. But if the striped bass do fade out, tog fishing is strong. Talked to Captain Jeff Warford today. He did a really good job on the tog, fishing one of the local reefs. The local wrecks are going to be also productive throughout the rest of this year. Tog fishing, going to be fishing live green crabs or white crabs. If you're looking for a more detailed fish report, check out fishinglbi.com. Fishinglbi.com is a blog I post. I try to do reports as much as possible. I put a detailed report up last night. Hopefully that brings some value to you now and throughout the rest of the season. And you know, hopefully you are following along throughout the season, and hopefully I'll be able to do as many of these reports as possible come spring. I'll try to throw some things up in the off season over the winter, maybe bring some value that won't be a fishing report, maybe more technique specific or some educational fishing stuff like that. If you have any ideas, drop a comment below. Love to hear what you all want to hear from on the topics of, and I'll try my best to share and detail that out. Once again, it's Greg at Fisherman's Headquarters. Hopefully you're getting out and getting into some fishing. So I'm having a blast, and this is about as good as it gets, so get on it while the action's good. And between those weather windows, because there's a little bit of weather coming tomorrow, only have so many more days left in the year. Hopefully we all can enjoy and get the best we can out of it. Have a great day.